See, to be able to understand what I'm going to emphasize on here, you have to try to grasp these 6 simplified phases in some way. Look, first, there's seed phase, ideas introduced, that is, past centuries. Second, normalization phase, control becomes reasonable, that's the recent decades. Third, acceleration phase, rapid alignment of systems now. Fourth, enforcement phase, compliance required, this one not full yet. Fifth, exposure and collapse. Lastly comes resolution. Where are we today on the map? We are not at the final war, we are in the early middle exposure phase. I would talk about how global growth is forecast to cool, projections showing growth around 2.6% to 2.7% in 2026, how inflation remains elevated, resulting governments to face budget stress and so unemployment risks rise if slack grows. But then I'm not the weatherman. Anyways, have you ever heard about the overlap effect? This is when slow growth and rising costs reduce social spending capacity, limiting government's ability to respond to other crises. But then, the thing is the transactional reality. Market, manufacturing, raw materials. In today's world, no country holds all three. Some control markets. That's consumption, finance, currency, trust. Some control manufacturing. That's scale, logistics, labor systems. Some control raw materials, energy, minerals, food inputs. Now, because of this split, every party depends on the other. That dependency forces a conclusion. Coordination must replace sovereignty. This is where enforcement begins, not by ideology, but by logistics. See, the pattern between acceleration and enforcement is divided in 2 phases. Phase A, stress fractures appear. Systems still function, but visibly strain. Contradictions increase, then what? Trust erodes. This is where we are now. Phase B is a cascade crisis, not of a single cause. Several failures overlap, so no one institution can fix it alone. So this is what I'm saying, this overlap is key. First, friction increases. Sanctions, trade barriers, supply shocks, and currency risks make transactions unreliable. Second, workarounds multiply. Temporary fixes, which means bilateral deals, alternative currencies, parallel systems grow complex and costly. Third, a common gate becomes attractive. To keep trade flowing, parties accept shared standards, identity verification, compliance rules, traceability of goods, money, and people. In all this, let's explore how the standards quietly become conditions. Access to markets, manufacturing contracts, or raw materials now require meeting the system's criteria. That's the shift from transaction dependence enforcement, where the fingerprint logic comes in, symbolic or not technical. At first, identification is about efficiency, reduce fraud, secure supply chains, verify eligibility. Later it becomes about permission, who may buy, who may sell, who may participate. This is a mark because it represents total economic visibility, tied to allegiance, not because of a specific device. The fact is, the beast cannot force allegiance. It can only require consistency. No? The only thing that anyone like me or you can do is prepare people before consistency is demanded, so when enforcement arrives, allegiance is already decided. The truth becomes unavoidable because enforcement reveals its own injustice, standardization reveals exclusion, control reveals fear. At that point, the system shows its true face without being accused.